I know the trend is about Barbie and Oppenheimer, but I didn't watch Barbie, and I want to talk about Spiderverse. Last week I watched Oppenheimer, a month before that I watched Spiderverse on its release in June. Oppenheimer taught me about an issue I had with Across the Spiderverse that I only noticed when I watched it. Hear me out. Across the Spider-Verse was fantastic and excelled in animation. I believe the animators went beyond what made Into the Spider-Verse great in 2018. The pace of the movie is extremely fast. After the first 10 minutes and initial scenes, it literally doesn't slow down until the last 20. There are scene after scene where something is happening, a fight, an action sequence, or a dialogue that requires our focus, or sometimes both are happening simultaneously. The film is fast-paced and grand, a visual delight filled with rich and detailed animation. This is both a good thing and a problem in my opinion. The details in Across the Spider-Verse are incredible. Blink and you probably missed a reference to an old game or a previous Spider-Man animation. However, I think the details are somewhat overwhelming. Some things happen so quickly with so many details that we don't have time to digest or understand everything that's going on. It's normal for a first-time viewer of the film to be indecisive about where to look. Whether it's the main event in front of you, something happening in the background, or a corner with a written reference. It's rich in details, which can be great for those who want to watch it again, taking their time and possibly pausing or looking for other details. In this case, the focus isn't on the story, but on the Easter eggs that the animators and film producers wanted to include for those who want to observe them. That's great. Across the Spider-Verse is incredible, and my only issue was with the speed and the overwhelming amount of details per minute. However, I didn't realize this when I watched the film. I thought Spider-Verse was just a movie with a very fast pace, and that's why I was bothered when leaving the cinema. I believe that such works were challenging to appreciate when they don't give you time to think or reflect on what happened. But I was wrong, and you know how I noticed that? Oppenheimer is amazing. The screenplay is excellent, and the story not only focuses on the protagonist, Robert J. Oppenheimer, but also show how he got involved in creating the bomb, his personal lives, ups and downs. Without giving away spoiler, the film even introduces an antagonist in the last act. Despite that, you don't root for Oppenheimer, but are still interested in the character because he's truly fascinating. I can only praise the cast: Cillian Murphy, Tom Conti, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Robert Downey Jr. all were impeccable and great choices for the characters they portrayed. This soundtrack, I can't praise it enough. It's wonderful and only enhances the good film. But what really caught my attention is the pace of the film. Aside from the moment of the bomb test, Trinity, there are no pauses in the movie. It's dialogue after dialogue, event after event. The film doesn't give you time to reflect on what just happened. Even the slow moments have dynamic cuts or constant cuts to particles or waves, give you the impression that Oppenheimer's understanding and studies of physics are driving him crazy. The film has two timelines. We follow Oppenheimer narrating the story in his deposition and Strauss' deposition, which has a black and white color palette, giving the impression that that is historical record and not just something the film is interpreting. How do I say this?
Interpreting.
This constant use of cinematography, god damn it,
Cinematography.
with a back and forth narrative certainly made me realize that this film has a fast pace, but I didn't feel like it was too much like Spider-Verse. That is when it clicked me. Oppenheimer may not give you time to digest the scenes, but because the focus is always on what's happening or being said, the film never overwhelms you. You can still find details in it, but nothing is excessive. The story is presented directly and with focus. It's not like having many details is a bad thing, I want to make that clear. With that comes the advantage of that Spider-Verse is much more rewatchable, especially if you like animation and admire how hard animators work and add techniques and details in various scenes. I still don't quite understand how Spider-Punk works, I swear to god, he may be a different movie on itself. But when I first watched Spiderverse, I left the cinema with some resentment, that I missed things that I needed to see again to catch those details. On the other hand, with Oppenheimer, I was left speechless. That's basically it. The fast pace doesn't necessarily make the film bad, but it's how dense it is and its scenes. But to be honest, I was planning to rewatch both films anyway, because both are incredible.